Welcome to Peak to Profit, where each week we share practical and tactical guidance to help you lead a profitable business. I'm Jennifer Drago, award-winning strategist and business coach. I help businesses develop a laser-focused strategy and roadmap for business growth so they can earn more, work fewer hours, and amplify the impact that they have in the world. Since we are coming up on the end of the year and soon it will be a new year, this week we're going to talk about strategic planning, what it is, and some best practices for this practice in your company. First, what is a strategy? As a reminder, it's a description of where you want your company to go, your vision, and how you're going to get there, which is your action plan with timelines and accountabilities. A strategic plan is a formal document that lists that vision and the annual goals for the coming year in very specific terms, including listing ownership, who is going to do what and by when, and how you're going to measure your success, i.e. your metrics. Most medium and large-sized companies use a strategic planning process to create a plan for their company for the coming year. Small companies and entrepreneurs may do a version of strategic planning and call it goal setting, but every company can benefit from conducting this annual process. That is the first best practice I will offer to you today. Within the last quarter of your fiscal year, a best practice is to create and update your 3-year vision for your company and then create goals for the coming year based on that vision. The strategic plan is usually put in place for the company's fiscal year and is also used to guide the budgeting process. That is to say, you would plan an action for your company and then budget for the resources to meet that plan. That makes sense, right? So did you know that only 60% of companies actually use their strategic plan to drive their budget? That's the second best practice that I would like to cover with you. Do your strategic plan first and then use it to guide your capital budgeting process. For example, you may need to purchase equipment or other capital items in order to implement a certain strategy, and also the development of your operating budget. These processes should never be disconnected. They should always follow one another. Some other best practices that you should consider as it relates to your strategic plan include conducting an analysis of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is also known as a SWOT analysis. By taking time to be thoughtful about your company's internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as the opportunities and threats that your company faces externally, such as in your service area or in your industry, you gain a really clear picture of what you need to address in the coming year. You would ideally conduct the SWOT analysis after you update your company vision, but before planning your goals for the coming year. When you develop your annual goals, you want to craft goals that are limited in number so that you and your team can be focused in the year ahead on the things that are most important to the company's competitive position and to its growth. You've heard the saying, less is more, and this is true of goals. Also, how you write your goals is very important. Zig Ziglar is famous for saying, a goal properly set is halfway reached. The formula you should focus on when you're writing your goals is to make sure your goals are SMART, and SMART is an acronym which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Having specific and measurable goals assures that everyone on the team is clear on what needs to be done. Giving each goal a deadline provides accountability to get it done. The next best practice that I'm going to mention is to cascade goals through the organization. What does that mean? It means that every person in your organization should have annual goals that relate to your company goals. In this way, it communicates to every team member how they will contribute to the success of a company. In a 2005 Harvard Business Review article, research showed that 95% of a company's employees were unaware or do not understand the business's strategy. We can do better than this. Our employees can't support the strategy of the business or the growth of the business if they don't understand it or if they never hear about it. So let's have their goals relate to the bigger business goals. Another best practice is to ask department heads or department leaders to set goals for their areas that contribute to the company's annual goals. Department leads are best suited to state how their teams can directly contribute to the achievement of larger company goals. So the best practice is to engage these leaders in the development of their team's goals rather than handing goals to them in a top-down fashion. Leaders like to be involved in the process, and it makes them more engaged. More engagement brings better results, so this is a win-win. Yet another practice is to identify cross-functional dependencies when goals are set. So sometimes a goal will require the collaboration and cooperation of several areas of your business. It is best to identify where these areas of collaboration need to occur in the goal-setting process, and this is so that everyone is planning the year ahead with the same level of knowledge and expectation, and so that they can plan the resources needed. Now you can imagine what would happen if I set a goal that needed significant participation from you, but I didn't tell you. You set your own goals for your department for the year, but you had no idea what I was planning. When I came to you a few months later, which is already into the fiscal year, to start working on my goal, you're faced with a conflict. Do you work on our shared goal that you didn't know about? Or do you decline the work on the shared goal so that you can meet your own goals? You can see the dilemma. Let's not put our colleagues in this position. And the final best practice in a strategic planning process is to utilize scorecards to track your progress throughout the year. You should have a strategic dashboard which monitors progress on the goals and tactics that you have as part of your strategic plan. At a glance, it will show you if you are on track for meeting your goals within the established timelines. A second scorecard that I recommend is an operational scorecard that tracks your operating metrics, such as your leads, your prospecting activity, your sales, your revenues, your customer satisfaction, and other key metrics that are important to your business. Today, we have explained what a strategic plan is, how to create one for your company, and the best practices to make sure that the strategy is effectively executed. Your action takeaway today is to craft the strategic plan for your company for the coming year. You can begin by creating a vision narrative, which is a series of 6 to 10 statements that paint a descriptive mental portrait of your company in 3 years. This is a really fun process, and I have a step-by-step workbook available as a free download on my website. You can find it at peaktoprofit.com/F/vision. I hope that you'll check it out and use it as the foundation for setting your annual goals for the upcoming year. Following the visioning process, you will want to conduct a SWOT analysis and then craft a limited number of SMART goals. Remember, that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. If you're unclear on where to go in your business, you can also book a free strategy session with me at my website, peaktoprofit.com. I hope that you've learned a few things that will help you develop your business strategy and goals for the coming year. I'll see you next week on Peak to Profit. Bye for now.